Plenty of changes coming for Iowa football, some of which have already been announced. We got news of some more change here on this Tuesday. I'm recording this video on Tuesday, January 16th in the afternoon hours. We got news about a staff member being promoted. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, just a reminder real quickly, please like the video. Of course, tons of Iowa content coming out here all the time here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, including post-game coverage for Iowa men's basketball. I had a post-game show last night. We do a regular post-game show with former Iowa assistant coach Gary Close. Also, on the women's side, we've got regular post-game coverage for the Hawkeye women. And, of course, Iowa post-game with Coach Don Patterson in the fall. Lots of content in addition to our regular daily content here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Please hit the like button. Be sure you're subscribed before you scroll away from this video. So, the news that we got here just about an hour before I started recording here, Iowa linebackers coach Seth Wallace has been promoted. He has been named the assistant head coach. Now, before you completely lose your marbles and think this means that he is the head coach in waiting, let's talk about this. He has been given a pay boost to $1 million. He was previously making $755,000 per year. So substantial increase of over 30% that salary. And here's what I make of this. First of all, he is going to remain as Iowa's linebackers coach, as he should. He has been phenomenal. By the way, he's still the assistant defensive coordinator as well. Let's make that clear. And he has been for a while now. He has done a really phenomenal job with this linebacking room, including guys like Jay Higgins. Nick Jackson's coming back for an extra year. What a land that was to nab him from Virginia, and has an opportunity to be the NCAA's all-time leading tackler because he'll have played in 6 seasons. But, of course, Jack Campbell, what a success story he's been in year 1 in the NFL. You go down the list, Josie Jewell, Bo Bauer, Cole Fisher, some unheralded former walk-ons that have proven to be exceptional players in the NFL and specifically at Iowa. Seth Benson was a really cool success story out of small-town Midwest. So he has done a phenomenal job, and it's been widely thought for a while that he would probably end up being the next defensive coordinator at Iowa. And I stand by that. Just because he's being named assistant head coach, I do not believe that this in any way indicates that he's the head coach in waiting. I think that would be silly of us to think. Now, he could one day be the Iowa head coach. Perhaps he continues to climb the ladder, so to speak. But here's what I make of this. It's been pretty commonly known that Seth Wallace has been approached by other institutions. And why wouldn't he? Other programs have tried to poach his services. Minnesota's one that I know reached out to him not that long ago about potentially coming up to the Gophers to coach and be a coordinator. He is a guy who is at the top of a lot of lists nationally to be a defensive coordinator. He's a young guy, has obviously worked with one of the best in the business in Phil Parker. As I mentioned, the linebacker room at Iowa has been phenomenal during his tenure, and that's what I interpret this announcement to be. Yes, I believe he is deserving of the promotion. This is the first time we've ever seen someone be named assistant head coach to KIRK FERENTZ. I don't think Kirk's going to do that 24 years in, unless there's the necessity. In other words, I think he's probably received offers, whether those are discussions that were directly between Seth Wallace and KIRK FERENTZ about other job opportunities, and whether it be something that Seth Wallace requested or something that Iowa as a whole recognized they needed to do, giving him this promotion, which is a title that also gives him the ability to make over 30% more per year, I think is a counter move to what the market is probably demanding for someone like Seth Wallace. Does that make sense? So my guess is he's been offered by other schools, or at least pursued by other schools, and this is Iowa's way, this is KIRK FERENTZ's way of keeping him here. And again, I think the hope long-term for Seth Wallace has to be, hey, I'm climbing up the ladder as it relates to prominence and money and position. But when Phil Parker retires, I'm in line for the defensive coordinator spot. And I'm young. I got a lot of years in front of me. Boy, it'd be great to be head coach one day. But again, I perceive this extra title that he has been given, assistant to the head coach, to be a result of Iowa needed to explain a way to give him more money, substantially more money than other assistants, a bigger raise than other assistants on the staff would receive during the offseason. Iowa still looking for an offensive coordinator. We also got word on Tuesday that Phil Parker has gotten a pay boost. We'll talk about that tomorrow, but wanted to fill you in on the latest on Seth Wallace. Congratulations to him. It sounds like his players really respect and care about him, and he's done a phenomenal job with that room. He will remain linebackers coach. He will remain the assistant defensive coordinator, and he's now considered the assistant head coach. So we'll see, maybe some more responsibilities, as it were, but at the very least, he has gotten a substantial pay boost due to his effort and I think his demand from other schools across the country. Stay tuned, more information coming, news, staff-related news, and I've also got a show with Mark Rogers. If you're watching this Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. Central Time Tuesday with Mark Rogers, you might be watching this video after that live show was already completed. So if so, go over to Iowa Football at the Voice of College Football. That's Iowa Football at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. Check out the live show with myself and Mr. Mark Rogers talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes. We'll talk to you soon.